Welcome to the App Showcase, where we review Microsoft-related apps, primarily from the App Store, but also through trial versions. SV MacPack is a certified veteran-owned and HUBZone consulting firm supporting the U.S. federal government. In support of our customers' need to do market research on apps such as these, we started recording our review of these apps. We hope these reviews help you as well. In this video, we're going to be reviewing RSS feeds as we move forward. In this particular case, multiple RSS feed viewer from Beyond Keys Systems. It's an app from the Microsoft App Store. As always, I'll move fast, pointing out what I like and what would make me hesitate to recommend this app to my customers. My goal is to be as candid as I would be if just talking to my own team about this app. Hopefully the review will help you and perhaps even provide good feedback to the publisher of this app. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to tab over to the next page here. This is the Microsoft App Store that we're at, the page for Beyond Keys Systems app. And I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at what we have here. I'll scroll in a little bit. And I always like starting on the left-hand side and working my way down. This app looks like it's going to be doing pretty good. 5 stars, 27 reviews. That's pretty impressive. So let's go ahead and click on the number for 27 reviews. And here we'll just scroll up a little bit so we can see some of these reviews. They're all over from a date time range, so that's pretty good. I always like seeing this. Excellent customer support. A lot of people talked about, this is interesting though, these top two one talk about they had problems and they had to get customer support. Third one talked about support. Although the support is great, I'm wondering why they needed the support. So if I look in here, I don't see why they needed support. That would have been helpful. But maybe these users are just not as experienced as some. So again, so I think this company was really touting a lot of the customer support. I'm going to move past this and move back to the overview because the reviews aren't helping me much when all it says is that they're good customer support. I appreciate that. I think it's great. But anyways, so coming down, now we see versions 3.9. That's exciting because that means these guys took a lot of effort into improving their app constantly once they released it. So let's look at the main part of the overview here. It tells us what it's able to do. This is pretty good. So various sources, so it's able to pull from, I'm assuming like Google, Yahoo, whoever, right? Coming on down. Gets a little sophisticated, but basically it's talking about the ability to manage the look and feel. And then this is good. So I'm assuming what this is going to show us is that it has the ability to just have a plus sign and hide some of the information until you're ready to see it. So this is a sophisticated app we're demoing. And this might be a pretty intense one for a short view. But in here you look at all the code-related activity that we can do with the features that are in here. Okay, so this is great. It's talking about just more about the look and feel. And so here's new features that they have, and this is helpful as you're looking at it. This is great. I mean, they did a great job with putting a lot of information in here about what this app does, how they built it, and a lot of the features. So that's really good. Let's take a look at the last thing here. Is the pictures that they have. So this first picture, I don't know if you can tell, but this is an example of the feed that I'm assuming we're going to see. It's pulling from the Sydney Morning Herald, BBC, and CBN World. So you can hit on each one of those tabs to begin to find some of that information. And it looks like in here for the Morning Herald, it's got multiple feeds, and that's what the purpose of this plus sign is over here on the right. Let me go ahead and pull up the next picture. And in this particular case, it's just showing, I'm assuming it's showing just a different look and feel for it, which is fine. And then changing to this next feature, again, okay, so it's yellow, red, blue. Now we're moving into the tab view. This is pretty cool. So this looks like it's a web part that's going to sit right on top of our page. I really like the idea of that. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like. Clearly, it gives you the ability to do the tabs. And then coming on down here, this looks like it's just a different look and feel. One of the things I really appreciate companies do, and Cicada does this a lot, is tell us what the picture's supposed to be showing me so I don't have to figure it out. Anyways, all right, that's the look at the Microsoft App Store description page. Let's go ahead and take a look at this app. Multiple RSS viewer. I already downloaded it, so it's right here. And I'm just going to click on it, and we'll begin to load this. Okay, one of the first things you should notice here is that in order for us to be able to use this app, we have to accept their privacy policy. I've never seen this before. You have to decide whether you want to do it, but there's no way to bypass it. So if I hit the X, it still tells me if you want to use this app, you have to accept our policy. So I'm just going to take a chance. Fortunately, this is my lab environment. I'm going to hit OK, and we'll see what happens. Let me try to press OK again. There we go. So the first thing I see, and I think this company is one of the only ones I've seen this in, but it puts ads up on top. That's a deal breaker for almost every one of my customers for downloading the free app to try it out. But it's not a deal breaker when you pay for it and you get rid of it. And I'm a big fan of paying for apps, not getting them for free. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. I'm going to scroll in a little bit because this looks like it's a demo feed for us. And so as I come across, what I'm looking for initially is how intuitive is it? And the first thing I want to figure out is where am I doing the feeds? These icons up here, just so you know, what I think they are before I touch them, the globe I think goes to the internet, to their site I'm assuming. The envelope is an ability to email, a link to email, and I don't know what the other link is. Everything should be intuitive from a UI, UX, or user experience standpoint, so I don't have to think about it. So let's see if I was even close to getting it right. So I'm hovering over that, and that takes us to the contact beyond key. So that takes them to their website. I was correct. And then this one here, it's just saying, basically it's doing an email to them, and it's putting a subject line. I don't know if you can see in the bottom of the screen. It's really small. But basically it would just create an email with subject line. So have you figured out what this one is? And this one just goes to the website. So this one goes to the website, and this one goes to, wait. Let's go figure it. Well, I don't even care because none of those actually have to do with the tool. So I'm getting a little distracted, sorry. So far it's not intuitive, but now I come down to the instructions. It's saying for on-premise, please make sure our API is browsable. This is pretty sophisticated in here. Let's go ahead. So now it's telling me wherever I want to use it, just go ahead and put a app web part. And now it's telling me how to do it. So then choose the Beyond Key viewer, put that in there. When the viewer is added, then we can edit the web part and navigate down, enter the header feeds. So this one here, I don't know if you're seeing this. So I'm not really paying attention to look and feel. I don't care about that at the moment. I care about the content, right? And so here it's talking about put your headers in. So basically, if you put a comma in between the URLs or the names, that will create the headers will be the top here, and then the actual feed URL is that next section here where it says enter feeds URL separated by comma. And then it talks about the number of feeds, and that's how many feeds are coming back. Sorry, now I'm zoomed in too far, but that's how many feeds are in here. So we might say 5, so it's not that crowded on our page, and people have to just click more. This one's really cool too. I really like this bottom checkbox. It says show feeds expanded. So by default, it's keeping them all collapsed, which keeps your page nice and neat. But if you wanted to just see them expanded, you could do that, and they threw that option in for as a feature for helping you. So the last part is enter the URLs and choose your jQuery theme. So it also talks about some features are showcased only, but they're only available in the paid version, which I wasn't able to download. So it would be nice if they told us what those features were, but instead I'm going to go figure it out. So let's come all the way back up here, and I need to go back to my site. So the top left-hand side, I'm going to go back to my site, and I'm on the home page. I'm going to go to the top right to this gear icon, click on it, and I'm going to edit the page is what the guidance said. And in here it's saying add a web part. Let's just add it. Actually, really quickly, I'm just going to get rid of some of these other web parts so they're out of our way. Delete this one. It's okay. And then the last one over here I will delete. Okay. This way it keeps the focus just on what we want to do. So now I'm clicking. I'm hitting the Insert tab. I'm adding a part. And it said Multiple RS Viewer, if you can see that right there. Selecting that. It's reminding me to enter the headers separated by comma. So now I'll come over here and hit the Add button. Let me go ahead and close my screen. Okay, so it's come up. It's given me some basic ones. And the first thing I want to do is edit the web part. And over to the right-hand side, I'm going to zoom in a bit. Over to the right-hand side, you can see the basic information. Down here is the custom properties they talked about. So let's start with a couple of basic changes. I'm going to go a little smaller so you can see. The part I really want you to see is these tabs. The first part is, can we change it? So how about, for some reason my keyboard's not working there. There it goes. Sorry about that. And then Neil, let's change the next tab here. Is great. I'm having too much fun. So if I change this, now my tab should say Neil is great. So there you go. I'm having a little fun while I'm demoing, but you can see how easy it is to change the tabs. We could have called that White House information if I'm pulling down a White House feed, etc. So then the next part is here it's pulling the feeds from each section. So if you scroll in here, you can see that the feeds are right there. I'm not going to teach you about RSS feeds because this is not a training on RSS feeds. It's just a demo into this app on how easy is it. And so right there you can see if we change the feeds, we'll be able to see it. The last thing, you'll notice it says multiple RSS feed. I like to get rid of that sometimes, so I'm going to get rid of the title up there. And when we go back, it'll be gone. And then the last thing I want to try to change is some of the colors that we see. Here, we can choose a theme that it provided. And so let's go ahead and choose Vader, Darth Vader. Again, way too much fun. I'm going to hit OK. See what it looks like. Okay, so Vader. It looks like Darth Vader's outfit. It's pretty dark. This is great how intuitive it is and how easy it is to use. Let me change one more thing just to show us that this is working. I'm going down to the bottom again to the web part settings, and I'm going to change the number of feeds to 3. Press OK. And now when it returns us, let me go ahead and save out of this page so we can see what it looks like. So now you'll notice the title is gone that said the RSS feeds. We've only got 3 things. We've changed the tab, which is great. We can expand this item to see what it is, as you look at this. And when we change to the different feeds, we can see the different information that's around. Oh, and this one's interesting, how it's got a whole bunch of information. One thing I do like is that that it has this, I didn't notice this before, but it has the ability to expand it all or collapse it all. So if you've been expanding a lot, it also gives you on the right-hand side, you can see when that feed was updated. This is a really handy little app that, I don't mean to call it little, I'm sorry. It's a really handy app that you can put onto your environment that gives you feeds. You can pull it in for your organization. Maybe you're watching for any mention of your organization, pull that back. It's very easy to use. I like it. I think they did a good job with it. This is multiple RSS viewer from Beyond Key Systems. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up as you consider downloading this. I would definitely recommend it to my customers to download this app for further evaluation within their own environment. I liked it. I hope you found this review useful as you evaluate various apps available to you and your organization. Please provide me with feedback in the comments. Let me know how I can make this App Showcase channel and these reviews more useful to you. Feel free to even suggest apps we should review, and we'll work to get them on the schedule. Finally, if you found this review helpful, please share a note about it on one of the social media platforms or just give it a thumbs up. I'm your host, Neil McDonald with SV MacPack. I thank you for joining me today and hope you'll join me again for other reviews.